We're here to solve this consecutive pairs variation on Kakuro by Takeya Saikachi. It has a triominoes theme, and you'll see it every gray clue comes with a partner, taking out a triomino shape in the grid, and that's going to give us some nice constraints as we work through it. I'm going to start on some of the clues that look like they are split by those two cells. We're actually left with a case where this has as many as 3, 4, 5, and 6 as options. Here we have 6 and 7 coming across. The 6, 7 coming up doesn't allow an 8. 8, 7 is too big for this, but this could be 7, 6, or 5, giving me a 1, 2 in the space. Over here I've got a force 7, 9, first sum of 16, and force 1 and 3. 7 coming across that dot is going to be 3 and 4. Now, this has to have a valid value that works for a whole sum of 10, and 3 with 4. If this were another 3 or 4, that'd be 7 putting a 3 in the cell. We'd have 3, 3, 4 coming across. So this can't be a 3 or 4, but it could go as low as a 2, so 3 into 2, or 4 up to 5 as those values. 3 with 2 would put a 5 in the cell, and 4 with 5 would put a 1 in the cell. Coming to here, I've got a 1, 2 across this 3 clue, and this actually looks like it's going to have some interesting chaining logic. It at least puts these constraints into these cells 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think I might now have run into the first logical place to make some good progress, and that's this 12 clue coming down. 12, you normally think of 1, 2, 3, and 6, or 1, 2, 4, and 5, but there's always a very big value, 5 or 6, that's in that sum, and right now none of these cells can have a 5 or 6 in them, so this cell has to be a 5 or 6, but an 8 sum coming from the left is incompatible with that 6 option. This has to be 5 with 1 and 2. That 5 forces the sum to be 1, 2, and 4, so this 4 must be a 4, puts in a 3, puts in a 2, makes this a 1, makes this a 2, and this now comes to just a 1, 3 cell. That 2 works with stuff we've already marked in the grid over here to say this is 5 and 4 and 3 with a 1. That 3 makes this 1 and 3, makes this 2 and 1, puts in this 3. This 24 is 10 with 14 to go. 5 and 9 is rolled out at this stage, so this has to be 6 with 8 in both those cells. And looking down, this 7, 9 suggests this is also a 6 or 8, so this will be odd, even, this will be odd again. This can't be a 7, because 7 and 7 doesn't work, but this can be a 5 or a 9 with another 5 or 9 in the other cell. Not a kind of logic we've used yet, but notice that 3 of the 4 even numbers are already included here, and every consecutive pair will have an odd number of an even number, so the only even number not placed in this column is a 4. It's going to have to go in this top cell. This can't come down to be a 3, so it has to come up to be a 5. Over here, this can't come up to be a 5, has to come down to be a 3 with a 7. Let's just come over to the right then. We've got 7, 9, and 7, 8 across these cells. This will have to be a 6, 8 here. And with 5 and 7 actually in the grid, this has to be an odd number here, and all the other odds are used. This is the other direction where we had the evens in the second column. We actually have the odds all used but the digit 9 over here, which puts in this 8, moves this to be 9, 8, this to be 7, 9. That forces this to be 6 and 7 and 6 and 1. 9 puts up a 4. This can be 3 or 5, which now means this can be 2 or 6, but will have to be one of those, and this last number is also a 2 or 6. Working through sort of other spots, I guess we can also come now to the bottom of the grid. So where we have everything marked here except for a partner to the 7, 9 cell. This is also a 7, 9 cell. So how do I make this 20 work if this is a 9? If this is a 9, that's an 8, that's a 7, that's 24, that's too large. So this looks like it must be 5 on the bottom, 9 on the top. Makes this an 8. Means this is a 6 and an 8 to finish this out. 5 is going to come to be 4 or 6, and then that's going to come up here to be 3, 5, or 7. So that looks okay. Let's also come to the 16 clue. We haven't looked at this yet. If this is a 9, it would naturally leave behind 7 and 3 cells, which is 1, 2, and 4. So 9 doesn't work with 3. That's 12, leaving behind 4 more, 1 plus 3. So this is 7 here, this is 9 here, this is 7 here. So that should help us a bit. We now have 1 in with 5 or 2 with 4 to make this work, and you can't put a 1 in the cells. This is 2, 4, 5. This is 1, 2, 4. And a thing we should note is with this being a sum of 12 with an even number, this also has to be an even number here. And it can't be 4, 4. This has to be 6 with 2. At least behind this is a 4. At least behind this is a 5, 7 cell. not looked at this sum yet, but this now looks like a good place to break in. With a 6 put through, we've got 11 and 4 cells left. That's typically 1, 2, 3, and 5. So you know we're going to have a 2 in that consecutive group. It's either 1 and 2 or 2 of 3, with 5 as an outlier in one of these cells, but this 2 doesn't work with the 12 clue above it. So we have to get an even larger value, 3 here, to make this work. This 2 also doesn't allow a 1 to work with this 11 value, so this will have to be 3 with 8. This now needs to be a 7 or 9, but 9's left, so this is a 7. That forces this to actually be a 5. All the way over here, that forces us to be a 3, and a 4 and a 5. And next to the 7, we can't come down to, sorry, can't go up to 8, so this must be 6, last digit 2. This we said was going to be a 1 with a 5. The 9 has to be either 7 plus 6, but there are 2 6s here, or 8 plus 5. The 8 is up above, so this is 8, 5, 1, 5. Last value in this whole space is a 2. We need to get this whole sum to work. We've got 16 with 6 already in the grid. This is 3 with 7 or 5 with 5, so it's going to have to be 3 with 7. That moves this down to a 2, this up to a 6, and we're through this puzzle. So pretty fun workout. I really liked how at the start we had this 1-2 chain to clue that this has to be a big but not too big value as one break-in. Then even later in the puzzle where we had a 1, 2, 3, 5 set that let us figure out we needed to get a 3 in this cell. So 2 sort of hard ways, but making use of these extended clues pretty well to get into the space. And it shows a lot of the potential of this variation, just like we've had crop key variations on Kakuro before that also have this nice kind of interaction popping up through the work. So thanks to Kay for the puzzle. Thanks to you all for watching this video, and we'll see you again soon.